Joel Fleischman, Happy Hour Podcast, episode 159.
We do the double tap?
Yeah, I do. Cheers, welcome Mike Howe from Howe, Howe Builders.
And we're still drinking carbless.
Still drinking carbless. Cheers to that. I got the blood orange, pineapple, and cranberry.
People love that podcast. So. I got lots of...
For sure. That was a fun one, for sure. Mike, thanks so much for being here. This is your first podcast with us, I believe. So welcome down. Thank you for coming in person. We like to kind of just kick things off and talk through your background. I believe 25 plus years ago, yes? And started with a custom home, and here you are today. So kind of walk us through that, how you got to get into the industry.
Sure. I was 18 years old, needed a job, and my buddy said, when it's time to start working, come and give me a call. And 2 weeks before graduation, I'm like, I need a job. So I went and poured concrete for 2 years and started my first construction company when I was 19 years old with my uncle, who was a couple years older than me, and did that for 5 or 6 years, and went on and did a little commercial construction. And in 2004, I went back on my own, and we've been Howe Builders since.
Okay, wow.
And you've always been in the Manitowoc area, born and raised?
Yes.
What's led you to kind of stay there? We talk a lot about, the Wisconsin roots and in our backyard, and I think it's near and dear from what I read on your website. Like, Yeah, definitely.
We, my mom and my wife Emily's mom are from large families. So my mom was from 14, Emily's mom's from 11. So a lot of family in the area, and we enjoy it.
Must have been on family farms, I assume. With those kind of, is that about right? No?
No, not really.
No, not on farms. Okay. Because my parents both have 9 siblings, and they're both from family farms down here, but maybe a little more farm country than Manitowoc even. So
but we became huge advocates of our community and do a lot of stuff there and support it and try to help a lot of even small businesses get started or grow. We do a lot of that, and just really love our community and try to promote it, and it's working out well for us. And
Manitowoc's doing well.
Yeah, I think we've came a long way in the last 10 years, especially some major growth and change and new leadership in our community.
I've seen an improvement in the downtown for sure. Beautiful downtown district if you haven't been there. And you're really known for manufacturing would be your claim to fame? Historically, yes.
Okay, very good. And so kind of talk us through the evolution of Howe Builders. Like, was it initially residential and now you're doing commercial and roofing, or how did that kind of all evolve? When
I left the commercial construction that I was in, that was all heavy commercial. I went back into building homes and remodeling. It was just myself, and I thought, it's just going to keep it myself and move on. And then a few years into it, I hired my cousin to work for me, and just like that, you go from 1 to 2 to 5 to 10. Now we're at 23 or 24 and looking at hiring 1 or 2 more.
Which is a very large, for a construction company, that's a very large payroll. That's one of the larger ones, I'm sure, in the area.
Yeah.
And it's the difference why we have that is our area and region. We don't have specialty construction companies that just do trim work or just do siding. Okay. So we self-perform everything, and my guys are cross-trained very well. So we have to be able to adapt to any type of project, and I can't just rely on new homes. I'd be killed if I did that. So working on remodeling. So when the phone rings, we answer it, and we have to recognize if it's a good fit for our company, and then we'll go out and pursue it. But we also do commercial projects, and we've done a lot of downtown development and redevelopment that we do with just kind of what I was talking about you guys are doing right here. Bought the church, I bought this, I bought an old movie theater, I bought an old warehouse, I bought an old building downtown, and we redevelop and make it opportunity, and we keep them buildings for ourselves for rental income, but at the same time we have, I think, maybe helped 8 or 9 small businesses get started. Yeah,
we call that, at least here, for us, we call that design build.
Yep.
So we call that our subsidiary of Drexel is Positive Development LLC, and that is the entities that own those properties. And we'll do design build, or probably what you've done too is we do scale up rentals.
Yep.
Maybe the first month's $100, and then year 5 is they're kind of paying that. It's not a loan, but they're paying that back. I think a lot of people don't understand on a lot of restaurants and Main Street properties, is that the owner of the property doesn't own the restaurant, and they're not their partner, but they have very vested interest.
Yeah.
They're helping them, assisting them. There's a lot of gray area with those.
Yeah, we just did that.
Yeah, the basement there's a leakage in the basement. Well, who's paying for that? And you can get legal about it, but then there's just the common sense and the partnership of it all,
I tell them that you're no good to me at 1 year at a time. I need you here for 10 years, 20 years. That's how we make a relationship. Yeah. So the one we just got back in, I didn't even charge them rent for like 6 months. I'm like, no, get in here, get open, get the doors open.
Because that's the most critical time, right? Yeah. So if you can help them out at all to get that, the wind beneath their wings, right? So it really is an angel investor. I mean, God bless you for doing that, because that is really brings Main Street USA back, because you need people that understand that. You can't say, hey, it's the pro forma on this property is $2,200 a month, so give it to me. And they're like, well, we're going to be out of business in 30 days.
Correct.
And I think that's happened probably too often. So, it's a working relationship. That's thanks for sharing that. That's a fun nugget.
Is that the hospital that you did, or was there?
The one we just did was another startup restaurant.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Woof. That's awesome. That's just a great investment, right?
So
there.
I do want to get to it, because I know Mike. I think one of the reasons he wanted to come on, and one thing that the day I've met Mike, he's passionate about is lowering the cost of housing and making housing more affordable. Yeah. Where's your? So that's correct, right, Mike? I'm not making that up.
Yeah, that's right.
So where you can, and there's so many different nuggets, and you can go down these unbelievably rabbit holes of how and where and why, and what's one thing that you're staying up at night right now, or you're doodling about, or you're thinking about. Could be on, not even in our the materials we supply, but like what's one thing that you're kind of obsessed about? Like, why does this cost so much?
The main thing,
or you're trying to lower the cost of it.
The main thing is the consumer, right? If we took the three of us sitting here, you give me the definition affordable to you, and give me the definition affordable to you, and then if I say I'm going to sell this house for, call it $400,000. It's two different questions, right? Yep. So people think that just because the word affordable is in there, that's low income. I can. It's $500 to $700 a month rent. Like, no. So I want to change that word and make it attainable. Like, we need to get rid of that, because it's not a fair question anymore. So trying to drive that price down is, we've got into, in the 90s and 2000s, we were into the McMansion homes, where they were very large and everybody had to have one. Interest rates were good. That helps, but everybody skipped the generation of just what do you need? And
sometimes when that happened was, I saw that a lot with McMansions. They would really go to the bank because of the low interest rate, and the bank would load them, not the bank's fault, but load them the maximum they could afford. And then they didn't have any cash to bring to the table when it came for the soft things. Like, we'd go through these houses and they were not furnished. There'd be blow-up mattresses. The landscaping is really a forgotten thing quite often. It's not normally in a general contractor's. It's normally not in your home loan. Yeah. So you can't take a loan out on it. And then these big McMansions, it's $50,000, $100,000 for basic landscaping. Yeah. And you're seeing them putting out their own grass and one little ash tree that now has died because of the ash borer, right?
And that leads into, well, how much is that a square foot? Well, the house is this, but you got to buy the land, you got to put the sewer in, you got to landscape it, you got to driveway, and that's not in a price per square foot. So everybody goes down these rabbit holes of what it is, and it's just not accurate.
Yeah. It's very difficult to do anything like that for comps. I always said the best thing to do, Mike, I don't know if you'd agree with that. If you want to see the value of a new construction before you even consult a builder, I said you can look at a spec house in the market where a builder made that, and you can assume the builder's going to want to make 10% on that. So if you take 10% off, it's probably what you're going to get. Yeah. And maybe they're going to get a general contractor fee of 5%, but it's going to be close. So if you say, well, does that include the washer and dryer? Look at the spec house. Does that include the refrigerators and the appliances? Look at the spec house, and then just take off between 5 and 10%. Is going to get you pretty close. Is that fair, Mike?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate, because nobody understands the all the risk that goes with it and the carrying costs that go into it. We start putting specs up, and if it don't sell, well, we're eating money. So
yeah, can you explain that? So this is kind of like a good. Yeah. It seems like it's like a financial podcast. It's really good. I love it. It's good. Mike's a deep thinker that way. Yeah. So if you're going to do a $400,000 spec house, which is kind of the crazy number. Again, you talk about attainability or what's different mindset of affordable.
Yep.
For older generation like me, that's just hard to even say that, but that's just very reality. What would be the monthly cost of carrying that?
For the one I'm doing right now, I think it's $2,300 a month in carrying cost, and then I have a realtor, so I can pull another 10 to 15. I got to negotiate it at, if she sells it 10, if it takes a team, it's 15. So that comes off it, and the longer it sits, then I'll have the title and closing costs that I got to pull out of my end as well.
Right.
So every month, the $2,300 goes plus the other cost that are in there.
Keep accumulating, but $2,300 every month, and that's why we. Again, to me, attainability and affordability can be the speed we make it, because if we can hurry that process up, you're saving that $2,300. We even go back to our virtual design. No, this sounds like an advertorial. I hate that. But it is true. If you use our virtual design, and we're having builders sometimes, if they're lucky or fortunate, selling that before the trusses are up.
Yeah.
That's wonderful for the builder. That risk is now down. And then also there's that reinvestment cost that I think is not thought about a lot. If that spec house doesn't sell, they can't buy that restaurant in town or that building in town. They can't get to their next project. It's not so much that they're going to buy their next pickup truck, which God bless them if they do, but more often it's they can't reinvest it somewhere else. They can't start the next subdivision.
We have to turn that money over and keep it going, because it's hard to carry, 2 loans at $300,000-$400,000 and then try to work on top of that to continue covering your payroll and your other liabilities, let alone when you got something sitting there. So trying to turn it over at some point, you have to turn it over, even if it's break even, just to keep product moving. So some days we don't make no money on them, but that's keeping my guys working. And
which is the black swan of 2008. Black swan just means what could happen in a really bad way. That's what happens. That snowball happens so quick. You got to bring $2,300 into it every month.
Yep.
Your cost of the spec house, let's say, is $350. That house is now worth $280. So even if you sold it, you would have to bring $70,000 to the table.
Correct.
And if that snowballs, and that's why it went so quick, and guys went out of business so fast, because it was over. It was unbelievable. It happened in 30 days, 60 days. Quality, wonderful men and women and wives, and they would come in so stressed and in tears, and their black hair would be gray. I remember a few guys coming in, and they just said, "Joel, it's over. Everything I built is done." And especially if you had a development, and it was just like, I walked into the bank and gave them the keys and said, "I'm out. I don't know what that means, but I'm out." And then the bank dumped it, and it was just this. And then also the inventory was it was a crazy time.
One of the last subdivisions that were built in Manitowoc was 2012. I am the first one since that to build a subdivision in my community. Everybody was terrified because the last one, they couldn't make no money. They just sold off the last lot last year in that subdivision.
From 08.
From 12.
From 12, which is kind of the remnants of 08.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and we were looking at lots that were cost of $70,000. The banks were getting them for, you probably might remember, that $5,000-$10,000.
That's exactly what it was. It dropped that much. It was the last one sold around $14,000, and they had $70,000 worth of hard costs into them. Some of them, which
was part of the inflation that the media is kind of dumping on us, which is kind of an overreach. We're just catching up to normal prices of lots. So that $60,000 increase was because you almost got the lot for free. Now we're building in the correct price of real estate plus infrastructure. Infrastructure alone on a lot is how much, Mike?
Well, for my subdivision, my break-even cost is $48,000. That's what I have stuck into it, buying the land, putting the roads in. Now, mine's a planned unit development with narrower streets, and I put in everything myself. I kept the city out of the equation. My buddy in Waukesha, he's running around $75,000 per lot to build.
Yeah, if somebody I was just going to say that if somebody in Dane County or Waukesha County is hearing this right now, they're like, 48,000, Mike's full of crap, right? So it's almost double in the higher regulated and frankly higher real estate value of those counties, but they are much more regulated as well.
When I started, it was tracking. I could have done it for $33,000 a lot. By the time all the prices jumped a lot, it was 48, and the one I'm developing right now looks like 66.
Wow!
And that's 2-year gaps of time is how much it's there. So now
makes my skin crawl.
I have to start break even at 66. Now, I don't make any money on my lots, really. I try to do it on the house. So if I can make $5-10 on a lot,
which is normal for a developer, I think, correct?
yeah. I mean, for in this market, so can I sell a lot in the city of Manitowoc for $100,000? No, not what I'm building, right? So $100,000, and now I got to put a house on it. So, okay, there goes my affordability, attainability question, right? You can't
before you break ground, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Yes,
to some degree.
So you have to really watch dollars and cents, and I know you guys talk about that a lot, and we value that, and we try to do that too, because our market is just different. So we have to recognize that every little burg and town is different. So you have to understand the demographics of where you live.
Yet they're kind of all the same.
Yes.
I mean, yes, there's Mequon and high rent districts and that sort of thing, but even the guys in Mequon are trying to watch every dollar.
Yeah.
And we like to call it raindrops makes oceans.
Yep.
You know, if you're not talking to every subcontractor and every supplier of saying, hey, what can we do here? They're probably just going to use the standard stuff that they're safe with, which we've talked about before on podcast. Totally understandable. The cost of risk is too high to switch.
Yeah.
But if you're not challenging them, but working with them and discussing them, saying, hey, what are the opportunities? Is there a water softener that is much less priced that performs the same way? Well, we've never had problems with this one, but there is another one for $700 less. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Yeah, and we had that this morning. So your team, I have Steve, Stephanie, and Lori that work with me.
Shout out to them. I'm sure they're listening.
Big time. They do a nice job, and we get together. Steve meets me every week, and then the girls meet maybe every 2 weeks. And this morning Stephanie brought it back up to me. He's like, this ain't where we started. I said, I know. And then we got sidetracked because this is how things went. I said, she brought it back up like, Mike, we got to get back to here. And I go, you're right. And that's what we're talking about. So,
because it's always adding the bells and whistles.
Yep.
I want it a little nicer. It's not a big deal. I'm always going to want, and I'll reference cabinets, right? I have to have and we're not talking a $4 million house, but if you think about it, do you need your garbage to be in the cabinet? One, it's using up valuable cabinet space. Two, I think that cabinet's costing you it's costing you a couple hundred extra bucks.
Yep.
And again, if you want it, God bless, I have one, I probably would do it next time. But having that garbage can outside the cabinet walls, I have also lived in houses like that. I've been to people's houses like that. At no point do I go, oh, wow, you really didn't make it in life. You're living such a ghetto. I mean, look at this garbage can not in the cabinet.
My wife and I have had every style of house you can have. We've moved 14 times since
Oh,
we've been
wow. Do you guys
married.
de-box at all?
We don't collect anything. You got more on that table than we don't.
You don't have time to collect anything.
No. So someone called and said, can we buy your condo? I looked at her, I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And
real estate's real estate.
And then we currently live in the first floor, 720 square feet. And our bunkhouse, which is our cottage, which we had 8 beds up there, it's about 500 square feet, something like that. So we're in like 12 to 1,300. And garbage cans outside there, and we don't have...
And somehow you make it work.
And it does work. I mean, it does work. Obviously, I miss my very nice walk-in tile shower, my gourmet kitchen.
Yes.
You know what? I don't even have a garage. It's the first time in my life I don't have a garage.
Oh, that I would probably struggle with. That one might be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. So I mean, but at the end of the day, if you strip it down, that when I get into the affordability of housing, if I were to say, do you need a garage? Do you need a house? So let's start with, do you need a house? What can you afford? Do you need a garage? Do you truly need air conditioning living on Lake Michigan where we're at? Do you need this?
Yeah, you don't have a lot of 90-plus humid days up there.
No. Yeah. Do you need quartz countertops? Because that's a must right now.
That too, yep.
So, and I talked about that just on our last podcast with Midwest Tops, and he was like, the laminate is so good out there right now.
Correct. Yep. And it's not your mom and dad's where you had 4 colors.
Yes.
Same thing. You're going to go with it for Christmas, and you're not going to be like, did you see the laminate tops? My word. What are they thinking?
I know.
Yeah. No, they're very nice.
Story.
And it's back for like anybody listening that's like a first time. If they're renting and they want to be a first time homeowner, I think Mike and I both are kind of obsessed with that. Get your equity into properties.
Yes.
Right. And we're both renters. I have rental units, right? And there's always going to be a need for rentals, and I rented at one point in my life. But we would love to get you into a place because that starts building your equity. It's kind of it's still the American dream, right?
I preach and teach that. We have 4 children. Our third one is 19, and we just got her into a house. She's got to finish up school. And the first one for my son was a 2-family. Second one for my daughter was a 2-family. The third one is a single family, but it comes with barns and mini storage that we can rent out. I tried to get the kids to zero house payment by their rental incomes, and now they build equity. I don't. Now we're just talking like our son turns 18 here in a few weeks, I think. And, like, so
he's your youngest?
Our youngest.
Oh, he'll live with you forever. That's my son's like, I'm not moving out, Mom and Dad. I'm like, oh, that's how the babies go, right?
Yeah. So we talk about it like, okay, and we're here to help and support, but you're going to learn how to build credit and equity and get into that, because I think one of my favorite songs is called "Buy Dirt."
Oh,
I
great song.
I don't know if I've ever listened to all the words of it. It's like "Buy Dirt." That's what I hear.
So
buy. And that's what makes the most sense.
And if you listen to it, right, it is about family and God and country and the outdoors. So I love that song because it's like, it's buy dirt, but it's like way deeper than that. But there's something about, I think, what the song's about and why you like it too, Mike. There's something about having the pride of your own property. And when you don't have that,
which is the American dream.
It kind of is, it kind of is. And I know there's even talk about getting rid of property taxes, which would make a tremendous amount of sex. Did I say sex?
Success.
Oh, I'm glad you got
it.
My
you got it.
Carbless is kicking in really hot here. It creates a lot of that property tax, getting rid of it would make a lot of sense in the fact, like, why do you keep paying for something you already bought? Like, it just seems like that's a. But again, I'm a real estate property guy, so that screams to me, and I hate taxes, period. But the property tax thing, I'm like, I don't. It just seems like a wasted. It's like, I don't know, what is the government? Why do you need that? It's a piece of property.
The only reason, because I sat on city council for 7 years, we have to pay for police and fire.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're going to have to figure out. They're going to get the income either way, so it's probably an illusion. You're taking it from one pocket to the next. But in theory, that one seems to be. I would only do it like if they were actually reducing the budget, right? So a different thing. And again, local municipalities are often stretched then.
And we were just in Texas last weekend, and one of where we were at, when they hit retirement age, it puts a freeze on their property tax. It can no longer go up as long as they live there, which I thought that was really good. As soon as they sell it, you're on your own. But
probably a whole bunch of loopholes of dementia units and grandma's hanging on by a knife, and you're like, well, she's got to live another year.
Right?
Oh,
but that's always interesting.
Yeah. I was curious too about low maintenance living to the preserve. Can you speak to that a little bit? And
well, that's one of the reasons that I built that community is because there was another gap.
So explain what the community is.
Yep. So it's called the Preserve at Lincoln Park. It's in Manitowoc, and I built a 33 lot subdivision, and the lots are 65 feet wide by 115 feet deep. And we have...
And to explain that to people that maybe aren't aware of that,
that's maybe 0.17 of an acre.
I'll say that's maybe, so it's like a quarter of what you would kind of have for a city lot typically.
And the first pushback I got from people, well, you can't get 33 homes in there. And my comment was, tell me your property address, and I bet you these lots are the same size or a little bigger than what you live in. So stop the negativity out of the gates. And what we did there also is we went with no basements under the home slab on grade, so there's no steps in my house. The highest is the threshold of the door. If you want a basement,
which normally would be what people maybe in Wisconsin don't know, going a few states away. No one puts basements in. I mean, I would say 85 to 90% of all homes in the country do not have a basement.
Correct. And they're like, what about a tornado? I'm like, let me know when the last one came through Manitowoc. And they build them in Kentucky all the time.
Yeah,
they've a bigger problem there.
So, I mean, it's not the issue. So we did that with zero clearance, and then we take care of we created an HOA, so we take care of the grass and grass cutting and snow plowing. We take care of that, And there's still, you own your own home.
Do you have a common center at all, or do you have a common area?
We talked
playground
about that.
area or anything?
I belong to a Builder 20 club as well, and we talk about that. So my other buddies have done that, and they said that's the worst thing ever to do
because of the maintenance.
And that people can't agree on anything.
Calendars and when's who's going to use it for Christmas.
I mean, I like the concept, but
very popular in Wanakee, Madison right now.
Almost
absolutely Milwaukee. Almost automatic in that Dane County region right now. Somewhat required, somewhat the developers believe in it, but and you'll see very extensive ones there. You know, basketball courts, swimming pools, the whole 9 yards.
Sense, you know?
Yeah, it does make sense. You know, they become their own community.
From your side, too,
yeah, both sides really. You can take that both sides.
It depends on the type and style and the size of the house, right? I mean, when I'm selling, the people, they have no interest in that. But we back up to 100-acre park that they have pickleball and tennis courts right there. They have walking trails. They have their own zoo. Access within like 2 blocks.
To be clear, you're not part of that. You don't have a zoo on your bio, do you?
No, but my mother-in-law who lives there, she can look out the back and see the animals.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It doesn't get any closer.
I mean, this podcast was going to go off the grid if you said, no, I'm out feeding my tigers. So that would have been a whole other second podcast. I didn't think that's what you meant, but I wanted to be clear.
I love just the note too, just to give people more time. Yeah, you don't have to worry about mowing the lawn and snow plowing, right? Like
you're trying to give the people an opportunity, because one thing has changed is people can work from home now, right? So when they want to travel and do that, they can leave and know their house is taken care of. And then they're in a community that the neighbor cares the same as you do. So that it's been going very well.
Yeah, I believe that. You know, and that screams first-time homeowner and the baby boomer generation. You know, people that probably need that attainable housing the most, and that step down, they call it, the baby boomers, the step down homes or the first-time homes. And that just screams, like somebody mow my lawn, somebody snow plow for me. Like I'm not at that point yet. I don't mind that at all. That's really, really smart. We've never talked about that on a podcast, and I've always wanted to. So, Mike, you've just been a great podcast. Builder 20 groups.
Oh, God.
You hear about that a lot from certain builders. What is it? What does that mean to you? How do you get involved? How does it change your business? Just kind of give me the whole speech here.
Sure. So, I recommend any builder.
And any builder I've ever talked to recommends it. Yeah.
Okay. That if you are a builder, you should join your local home building association. That gives you a chance to be part of the state and national association. In a week and a half, we go to International Builder Show in Orlando, and with that, I've 2 local builders in my town had both said, Mike, you should get into a Builder 20 club. So I applied, and it took me 2 years before I got into a club.
That is through the associations?
Yes.
Right, that is not a third party
Correct.
Called Builder 20 Club. This is through the associations, okay?
You have to be part of your local.
Yep.
Okay.
And I finally got in, and I had no idea what to expect. So we get to Washington, D.C. at the national headquarters, and they put 17 of us guys in a room with no structure. I'm like, okay. And then we went through it, and we built these relationships, and we really dialed it in, and I kept talking with other 20 club members. And
so it's a team of, what they try to do is put 20 maybe not like-minded, like businesses, correct? Like construction companies. So it's not, you don't have a guy building concrete hospitals and a small-time remodeler. Very similar, right? Now, different parts of the country, but very similar.
So you can have production builders. You can have builders like we would have.
So it's by category.
Yep, we would have fell into the $500,000 to $10 million is what we do in sales a year, and then 10 to 15, and then you cannot have anybody else in your state. Maybe Texas can, right? But you can't be in the region, or if I'm looking at expanding, I can't have it.
So you don't have competitors.
No competitors.
Right. So you can be totally transparent.
And the beauty of this is my subdivision. Basically, I've worked with Tom and Sarah and my group out of Indianapolis. I said, I love what you're doing. Can I buy your plans from you? Because he's like, oh yeah, Mike, we'll set up a thing, and you take this, and here's my blueprints, here's my price sheets, here's everything.
Wow.
And because of that, was a game changer for what I do. Like that, and once a year we go through everybody's financials, so we have to report them to the all the national accountant looks at them, and then I get to see exactly what you're doing. And
so they build a cross spreadsheet where you rank your number 14 in this category, number 1 in this category.
Correct.
I'll say, Mike, how do you do so well in this category? And you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was killing it. I'm number 18.
Yeah, and that's what you get, a reality check quick, and that's how
you think. I've heard a lot of builders say, I thought I was really profitable. I thought I was doing great. I thought I was killing it. Right, like from 18 years old, I was pouring concrete. I think I'm like the world's richest guy. I go to Builder 20. They're like, dude, you're a moron. And I'm like, oh,
that is the truth.
And I have a reference for that. It's from Shakespeare. It says, "Heavy weighs the crown," and what that simply means is right. It's the king or the queen. And they feel alone. They're on their own island. The pressure of the crown heavy weighs the crown. And I think so many local builders, they can't go to the local bar or restaurant and saying, "Hey, I just want to bounce some stuff off you as a local builder." Right? Who do you talk to about this stuff? Who can advise you? There's nobody really. Your accountant and attorneys aren't construction experts.
Nope.
So they might say, "Well, I do all these books for all these other businesses." But we're not a hair salon. We're not cosmetology. We're not a normal industry. So it's a very different profit and loss statement.
Yes, and we
and again, what builder understands a profit and loss statement besides the end of the year with the accountant, right? And saying,
and nobody
you
truly
made money.
understands it unless you're in this group.
Yeah, correct, right.
Because we get to be ranked against the top 25% of production builders, top 25% of custom home builders. So you can see that if I should be charging, or if I should be spending 3% on marketing and 1.5% on interest, and it breaks everything down. And if you want to be the best, you just start watching these guys like, man, you just
hit these benchmarks. You're like, well, we got to shift this and that.
And we've learned a lot. We've had to let people go out of our group that wasn't performing or not listening to it. It's like, if you're not going to be a part of this or want to get better, then I'm going to ask you to leave.
Yeah, if you're just advising, because if you're just reading the spreadsheets, right, you got to be an active participant.
It's been a game changer in what we do.
Wonderful. I'm so glad we brought that up.
Thank
you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Mike's always willing to share his industry knowledge. I've always known that about him, so thank you.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's 2026. What are you guys looking forward to? What are you most excited about right now?
Right now, well, this time of year, the phone doesn't ring as much, right? Plain and simple. So we're looking to get past some of the cold weather to Christmas, the attitude, and get into that. We got a good load of work to get us started, but we got to get some work coming in. And I've been trying to up a little bit of marketing myself to do that. And some of the big stuff I'm working on, I got another development. I bought 25 acres. People have no idea. It takes me, I'm in year 2 since I bought it, and nothing has happened yet. It's just all paperwork and wetland delineation and Army Corps of Engineers, and well, that didn't work, so redraw it, spend some money on consulting.
And redraw also means money? Like that.
It just doesn't
Mike's not
stop.
sitting at on his legal pad being like, what do you think about this? Like, you have to hire these guys that charge a tremendous amount of money and move fairly slowly because they're all very busy. So a week turns into a month in 2 seconds.
And you can't do wetland delineation at a certain time of year, so you got to wait till the plants are growing, and then you find out I was right from day one. I didn't need any of this. It gets frustrating. So we're hoping by the end of this year I'll have everything in place to either maybe have ground moving or it'll be starting next year. So I need a place to call home when I'm done with the current subdivision.
Yeah, and sometimes you see on Facebook and they're kind of bashing a subdivision, or why did it go so fast, or why didn't they do this, or why didn't they put a zoo there? It's they're just naive, and again, you do laugh at it because you're like, man, you have no idea how often they probably were working with so many municipalities for so many years and so many sleepless nights, and took so much risk, right? This is risky, and we're doing the best we like. There's no way anybody wouldn't do the best they can, right?
And we got back into cash flow, so not only put a spec out there, now I'm fronting the loan to buy the land, pay the consultants. You don't get any of that money back. You don't get any money back until you probably got 10 houses sold. So if it doesn't go, I mean, there's risk. So we have to front, and then okay, let's just make a couple bucks and sell a house. Let's make a couple bucks and sell a house. Right. So it's definitely a challenge. So
which is why that spec house, why these houses again have to have, as Drexel, we have to do such a critical job, and everyone building these homes don't miss a step.
Right.
Don't overcharge. Don't have the restock charges. Don't have the delays, because that's just money on top of all the money. It's like salt on the wound to some degree, right?
Our staff meeting this morning with your team, we were developing a new checklist and spreadsheet because last year Windows killed us by misordering. So we're like, we got to fix this. So what did we miss? Let's find our weaknesses and get that checklist so nobody leaves here without an initial and a checklist of who's responsible for this to try to, we got to cut that out.
And then on the backside, right, for a supplier, I'm doing the opposite with our salesmen. Right now in Kewaskum, again, winter, really cold, delays. I've got an entire warehouse, hundreds of thousands of square feet, just sitting on windows, right? And I'm paying 1.5% per month with carrying cost on those windows.
Yeah.
So the quarterback leaves your meeting and says, well, we got to get Mike's windows ordered early. And I'm like, if you order those windows early, I'm going to kill you, right? So there's a sequential there because I don't want to sit on windows for 4 months. I don't have enough space at this time of year to do it. Yep. And again, I'm just like you. I don't have the cash. So we have a loan on the windows plus the carrying cost of the windows. And then it's like, okay, and then I need more racking on top of it to order the next windows. Yeah. It's like, well, no, why would the windows sit here longer than
And
2 days?
Black or white or almond windows? You want grids in your windows. I mean, there's so many. It's not just ordering a pile of windows.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You got to put some forecasting into it as well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
For sure. I'm educated. Thanks, guys.
This was like an educational pod for sure.
Very good.
I kind of knew that when Mike came on. He's a deep thinker, so I'm not surprised.
Really great. Well, we're at the end of the podcast here, and we always ask our guests, you get a billboard, and you get to pick what's on that billboard. A message, it can change in different seasons and this and that, but what does it say for you? What's your message?
Back to attainability. Really understand what attainability is and what you truly need in your house. And once you figure that out, you're going to realize that your parents all grew up in 900 square feet and raised 5-6 kids. And they made it work. So we don't need the McMansions anymore. I don't mind building them, that's fine, but we got to get back to what can we truly afford and what makes the most sense. If you get the first one, there's a good chance you might do the second one. You got to have a starting point.
For sure.
Awesome.
Attainability. Thank you. Thanks for your
time. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. God bless.
God bless.
Peace and love.